Tonight we are bringing you along to something very special here in our city of New Orleans with our good friend Orion, who is an amazing tour guide in our city. If you watch our videos, you might have seen the ghost tour we did about 2 years ago on our channel that people truly love. So we are back with our friend. He invited us out to do something very special and something new that they're about to bring out in New Orleans. So we're gonna have Orion introduce himself and tell us what we're doing tonight.
Today's very exciting, my friends. Most people on ghost tours in New Orleans go on a nice 2-hour walk through the French Quarter, but you might know the French Quarter and New Orleans can be pretty warm sometime. What if you want to travel in class and luxury and be in air conditioning? Today, we are taking your team out on a VIP black car service tour, not just of the French Quarter, but of the entire city as we unpack ghost stories that no one else is telling, all by the luxury of a beautiful black SUV. So today, you get to join us on a little preview of that journey.
We are on Esplanade Street and we got a special treat for y'all tonight. Isn't that right?
We do. We are taking you along to a 2.5-hour tour, a ghost tour with our friend Orion. So we're so excited. Thank you, Orion, for inviting us out. We can't wait to have fun with you all. And this is our ride. Oh, wow.
Hey, baby, let's go find a ghost.
Oh, we're ready.
Yeah, baby.
We're ready. Good to see you. Thank you.
Are you ready?
We are ready. Thank you to the best driver. And we're going to pick up our friends now. This is going to be a 2.5-hour ghost tour going around our city. And you know, New Orleans is one of the most spookiest cities in the world. So it's going to be fun. Let's go have a great time.
First of all, we got fans. That's how you start a VIP experience.
Yes.
With our fresh fans.
Where the fans
You know,
at?
yeah, exactly. Where the fans at. That's the definition of VIP.
Hello and welcome to Jackson Square. Of course, the sunset setting behind us, taking in the view of both the beauty of that sky and the beauty of this river here. New Orleans is a city that understands the paranormal and the supernatural. It's incorporated to every part of our practice. For example, I got married on that boat right over there. That's called the Natchez. Coming off that boat parade, walking to what's called a wedding second line.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. That was 11 years ago, time well spent. Now, what in that second line, way to understand is that we have wedding second lines, we've got birthday second lines, we'll have a corporate second line. We have more than 800 second lines in a given year here in New Orleans. We also have a very similar thing called a jazz funeral. Almost the exact same ritual, right? And the wedding, the couple's up front, the band, everybody passed, the band is the second line. For the funeral, the body's up front, and when the body goes in, an effigy might come out, and we have a parade as we dance and we sing, because the story does not stop just because someone's dead. New Orleans understands the story keeps going well after somebody has passed on. So with this understanding tonight, we talk about the supernatural and the paranormal. And these words just mean beyond natural, beyond normal. And no one's got a problem with the positive side. People in general really like an angel. They really love a miracle. Same folks got big problems with ghosts and curses. Today I asked us to entertain that if there is shadows, there will be light. Today on this tour, we're gonna go to a place that no one else and any tour company gets to go to, hearing stories that no one else is telling. This will cover today part of our French Quarter hauntings, but then we'll leave the French Quarter ahead to destinations that no other tour gets to go to as I unpack for you the hidden lore of New Orleans as we drive through the entire city tonight in one very special tour. As we walk along today, I want you to keep your minds open for the possible, the magic of if, the possibility of wonder. There is horror, but the other side of horror is wonder, and if we can explore that together, we can walk away with a bigger understanding of our city. Today, our first stop, we'll be talking about vampire lore as we head back to our vehicle.
He said vampire lore, Jen.
Vampires, you know, we love our vampires.
This is the world famous Cafe du Monde, but like you said, we don't just get to walk this, we're driving all over the city. So while we get to see the world famous Cafe du Monde right now, we're seeing all over New Orleans today. This is gonna be absolutely wonderful, guys. Honestly, cannot wait, right, Jen?
We're so excited. We love our ghost tours in our city. One of our favorite things to do is hang out with Orion and get some really good ghost stories. And he's amazing. You're gonna enjoy this video.
I'm gonna show you some of the scenes as we're driving around. This is gonna be awesome.
The Ursulines used to run this entire street full of their businesses. As we move along the direction here, head to Hotel Provincial. Hotel Provincial has lots of haunted stories attached to it, but it is also a place of a hospital run by the Ursuline. The Ursuline is still vitally important to the city's culture history, but we're pulling it alongside here. In a block and a half, we're approaching the legendary Ursuline convent, where we will unpack the story of the Casket Girls, one of the most popular vampire stories in the city. We couldn't be on a tour and not touch on vampires a little bit, but this will be our only vampire story. It takes place here in the French Quarter. The stories that we go outside the French Quarter, I dare say, are less known and maybe even a little more frightening than a classic vampire tale. But first, I bring you a vampire story. (1727) begins the beginning of the Ursuline convent. 1727 is the beginning, but it doesn't get finished till 1754. The first convent actually was quite a bit ways down the street, more towards the center of the French Quarter. With the understanding of the city holding one of the oldest buildings in the Mississippi Basin, we unpack one of the oldest vampire stories known to the city's culture, the story of the Casket Girls. So we have to go back to the French colonial time period and understand that this was a challenging place to be. This is the boundary of the French Empire, and out here's the boondocks. And in Star Wars terms, this is Tatooine. And being very specifically, the French Quarter is Mos Eisley Cantina. It's a bit of a rough and tumble place. And there are three disparate colonies, people who are here in the time period. One are the French affluent. The first sons of France will stay in France. The second sons of France will then join the church. And the third son is going to go to New France. We are in New France right now. Now we have the enslaved. Enslavement begins in the late 1600s, and really by 1719 the city is born. Enslavement is running in full steam. It becomes a huge part of the city's cultural history. However, lastly is going to be all the people who are brought here from Germany and from France who are part of the prison systems of those countries. It's not a penal colony, but there were several thousand people sent here to be sent away from where they were from. This is where France sent people to be away. It's not Australia, it's not a penal colony, but it is a place with a fair amount of folks who put time behind bars. Do you want to stay in that prison, or do you want to go to New Orleans? Do you want to stay in the orphanage, or do you want to go to New Orleans? Do you want to stay in that workhouse, or do you want to go to New Orleans? Nowadays, it's not much of a choice. Like, New Orleans, thank you very much. But back in the day, you must understand, to come here, the odds of dying are pretty good. Disease, battle, insurrections, and duels. There's so many ways to die in New Orleans. And the problem they have is the French gentry they're supposed to get married, but they can't marry the women in town, so they mail order themselves some brides. Now, they have some pretty strong stipulations for who they want to come to the city, and it goes like this. All 62 letters to King Louis XV are written the same way. They would like to have good-looking women who speak only French, who bring an entire fortune with them, and they would like them to be roughly 13 to 15 years old. Signed, the creepy dudes of New Orleans. And King Louis XV, who was not known for not being creepy, was like, yikes, guys. Nobody wants to send their daughters to you flipping weirdos, okay? Well, no, it's closer. Montreal, Canada is closer, and Montreal, Canada has been French for a full 100 years at this point, or for a full 100 years. And they have a bishop, and they have royalty, and they hand select young women to come down here called the Felice Cassette. The word cassette is different than the word casket. The story is called the Casket Girls because that word cassette gets mangled. But the word cassette just means a trunk with your dowry in it. These girls come all the way from Canada. They come all the way down from the high seas. They see doldrums and storms. They see heaving waves and the hot Caribbean sun burning down upon them. They're hiding below the decks, preserving their delicate French features so they could be eligible once they got married, living up here in the third story of the Ursuline convent. As they get down here, they've discovered that the town has turned against them. These girls are little outsiders. They bring in their cassettes up to the convent. As they do so, they look sickly. They look pale, and the town decides that they are evil. The town calls them horrible names. They call them sickly, they call them sinful, they eventually call them vampires. And the word vampire that you have in your head is not the same vampire you have in this time period. Tend to think of our paddle wheel steamers by the harbor there on the river. Natchez, Creole Queen, right now the city of New Orleans is doing their work as well. And these huge vessels were important because they have a shallow draft, and you can keep that paddle wheel going over sandbars. Pretty easy to clear them off. And they can take a lot of passengers on without having to worry about getting too deep in the water. It's pretty important for the bayous, especially coming off the river. You never know how off the lake how deep water you're gonna have. And we tend to think of these huge vessels, but back in the day, they weren't always big. Sometimes they were quite small. So it wasn't too uncommon, before we have bridges like this built in 1908, to have little paddle wheelers going up and down along Bayou St. John, heading out into the lake for fishing excursions or bringing out commerce, bringing out cargo. But it's pretty uncommon now. It's pretty uncommon now to see a tiny little paddle wheeler out here in the bayou. So in 2009, when there were people standing right here at this bridge looking down the way, coming across the corner over there, they saw what they believed to be a replica, perhaps a reenactor ship, maybe something being used for a film or a TV or a movie. This very small little paddle wheeler coming around the corner, all lit up, and right there at the corner, it begins to stall out. And they hear screams and sounds of duress from that little paddle wheeler. We're about to go out to a spot that many locals have forgotten ever existed. And those who remember that there was something here have forgotten that there's something beneath the surface that's even more hidden, that today we're going to go unpack. This was the Coney Island of New Orleans. There were roller coasters. There was actually an embedded Confederate submarine that had a track that you could ride on, like Disney World, you know? There was as a pond, there's alligators you could feed them, there's water slides. Not too long ago, this was an amusement park here along Lake Pontchartrain. But most folks have forgotten the reason it was called the Spanish Fort is that there used to be a Spanish fort here. When this was a Spanish fort, you have to remember the beginnings of the connections to New Orleans history of the Spanish are not great. We have the story of Bloody Orion, who comes to town and kills 12, there's 12 insurrectionists in the insurrection against Spain. He summarily executes 6 of them. That's why he's called Bloody O'Brien. And I don't see anything up there either. But this is the place where the cops get called on the most in this particular area because of this particular tree. This is the hanging tree of the Spanish fort. This tiny, holy piece of land is really all that's left of the old Spanish fort's history for most modern folks who come by the park. They never even notice it. But the last burials of the Spanish fort are right here.
I can see you from behind. You can hear me in your mind. Run so fast as you can go. Time will catch you before you know.
We just finished this amazing ghost tour that we were blown away. Like, had no idea in depth how this was going to be. You know, we just knew it was a ghost tour, so you didn't tell us many details about it.
Yeah.
But you know, if there's ghost tours, we're there because we love our ghosts, we love our city, and we're blown away by how much history that we didn't know about, like in New Orleans. Like even my husband, born and raised in New Orleans, I've been coming down here since I was 21, living down here for 10, so I've been coming down here for years and years too. And you've taken us to places that we didn't even know about. And all the history of New Orleans. And literally, we went all around the city.
One of the great things about working with Albee and working with NOLA VIP is that these folks have an understanding of the roadways of New Orleans and how to navigate the exact best spots for the most incredible experience. So when I had a chance to partner with a NOLA VIP, absolutely, let's go. Their in-depth knowledge of the city, with my passion for telling a good story and exploring a good mystery, it's a natural fit. So I'm so grateful to spend time with you guys on this video and spend time with you creating this tour.
What an honor.
And I think that we have an opportunity to bring people who know New Orleans well and the things they never thought about before, while being in an air-conditioned luxury vehicle, having that relaxation at the same time of heart palpitations.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. There are some times, especially walking through like the fort, we're like, wow, we've never been up close and personal to this. You've taken us to places that we would never even knew existed.
We'd love to take you guys there in the future as well.
Yes.
Come see us here. We are, again, this is called Ghost of Greater New Orleans. You can book it through NOLA VIP services, or you can book it with me on my website as well, OrionCoolingNOLA.com. But thanks so much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you for always being awesome. They are both amazing tour guides in our city. Check them out. And we hope to do more videos with you in the future because you guys are truly great people. And they love our city just as much as we love our city. They're amazing, amazing historians. So thank you for a great time. We appreciate you. And we can't wait to see you again. And we hope you book this tour because you're going to have a great time.